What's up, guys? Welcome to Cara's Cucina. I'm Cara Di Falco, and this week I have a great fall recipe for you. We are going to be making wild mushroom ravioli in a brown butter sage sauce. Great food isn't just about good ingredients and knowing how to cook. It's about telling the story of the food. So we're going to start off our dish by adding in about a tablespoon of olive oil to our pan. We're going to get that heated up, and we're going to saute just about a quarter of an onion. It's not too much. This is how we're going to start our filling. Now, along with that, I also have 1 clove of garlic, and I have 4 ounces of mixed mushrooms. Now, you can get these at some of the finer grocery stores or the higher end stores. A lot of them have them. A lot of the farmers markets these days have a forager, a mushroom forager, who will go out and collect wild mushrooms from your local area. But you want about 4 ounces of mixed mushrooms. These are baby bella, crimini, and oyster mushrooms. And then I also have just about a quarter of a cup or another ounce or so of dried porcini mushrooms. And these are in some hot water to kind of reconstitute them. They have to sit in that for about 15 minutes. Then we're gonna drain and chop them and add them to our mix as well. So we're gonna let this oil continue to heat up just a little bit and get our onion in here. We'll let this onion cook for about 3 minutes. Our onions have been cooking for about 3 or 4 minutes. They've become opaque. Some of them are starting to caramelize a little. So now we're gonna add in 1 clove of garlic that I have chopped up. And we're just gonna really let this get fragrant. So it's only gonna take about 30 to 60 seconds before we add in our fresh mushrooms, which I've also chopped. And I chopped them pretty fine because, again, this is gonna be a ravioli filling. So we don't really want big pieces of mushroom in there. We really want it to kind of break down and become a nice consistent filling. So get that garlic in there. Smell it already, it's beautiful. So now we're gonna add in our fresh mushrooms. We let our mushrooms saute for about 5 to 7 minutes until they became a little bit darker, nice and soft. They released all their moisture, and then we took that off the heat. I also drained and chopped those porcini mushrooms. So now we're gonna make our filling. I have a ½ cup of fresh ricotta along with a ¼ cup of grated Parmesan cheese. So we're gonna add our mushrooms to that and get that all mixed in. And then we're gonna season everything with salt, pepper, some fresh parsley, as well as adding in 1 egg. And that'll be our filling, and then we can get this off to the side. To make our ravioli, I have some fresh pasta dough, and you can get my recipe for that here. Now, there's a couple of ways to size out and fill your ravioli. I've actually never seen these in a United States store anywhere, but I know they sell them in Italy. This happens to be my great-grandmother's raviolo. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's basically just the little tray with the mini raviolis. Those were the ones she liked, and the little rolling pins. You can press the dough in there. I'm not going to use these because it just makes too small of a piece of pasta. It takes a long time to get all of those done. But I also have from her her ravioli stamp, which is actually what I'm probably going to use. And then if you ever just wanted to kind of, you could just fill them and fold them over and cut them with the little wheel that's got the crimped edge on it as well. Even if you didn't have one of these, you could do it with a straight edge, but the crimped one works out a little bit better. So to make our ravioli, I have our fresh dough. And I am going to spoon in, I'm just using a little baby spoon actually to do this with, a bit of the filling around our dough. We're gonna leave some space to seal in between. There's more towards the center here. And then we're gonna cover these with another sheet of the pasta dough. To finish our dish, we're gonna make our brown butter sage sauce. So I'm gonna start off with about 2.5 tablespoons of chopped walnuts. And we're just gonna toast these in a warm pan for now. Then we're gonna put them right back in their bowl. And this is mostly gonna be for garnish when we're all done. So we just wanna let these go. It's gonna take about 5-7 minutes. We're gonna smell walnut. We're gonna get those oils out, and then we can pull them out of the pan. Our walnuts are toasted. I have the same pan, I just wiped it out. It's still over medium heat. And now I'm going to add in 1 stick of butter. Now with brown butter sage sauce, it is such an easy sauce, but you do want to keep an eye on it. So you really don't want to be distracted by anything else. So I have my pasta water at a boil, but I'm not putting the pasta in just yet because I want to be able to keep an eye on what's going on here. And that's already a little too hot, so we're gonna lower this. We want our butter to melt, and already we can see it's starting to turn brown. So a non-stick pan is really not gonna be the best thing to use to make this, because you really need to be able to see the color of the butter. And what's turning brown is the fat that's in the butter. So it's just starting to caramelize a little bit, and that is what's gonna give it that color and that flavor. So we are gonna let this go. We want it to get foamy, and then we want it to get a nice dark brown without burning it. You'll know right away if you burnt it, but just keep it moving, keep smelling it, keep an eye on it, watch the color. And once this turns brown, we are just gonna add in a few fresh sage leaves, about 10 to 12. If they're really big, just rip them up as you add them in. They're just gonna fry up nice and crisp. They're gonna be so beautiful. And we can actually, once that's done, set this aside, and then we'll cook our fresh ravioli. So again, we see our butter's gotten nice and foamy. We're still seeing the brown color starting to form, and I want it to get a little more brown. This is like the grown-up version of pasta with butter if you were a picky eater as a child, which I was and my brother was. Much better. So I keep this moving, and as I keep it moving, as I'm moving that foam, I'm starting to see larger brown pieces. So again, that's the fat of the butter starting to cook up. Okay, so our butter is nice and brown. The whole pot has this beautiful amber color to it. So I'm actually gonna take this off the heat right now. We are gonna add in some of those fresh sage leaves. I have some little ones And then some of these bigger ones, you see they fry right up. I'm just gonna tear up. Oh, it smells so delicious. And then once I get these in here, then I'm gonna start cooking my ravioli. Some of our ravioli have begun to float, so I'm gonna scoop them out. And they're gonna go right into our sauce, which I have put back just over low heat to keep everything warm. And we're just gonna keep going like this until all our ravioli are cooked. Serve your ravioli topped with Parmesan cheese, those toasted walnuts, and a little bit of fresh sage. Guys, if you like this recipe, you can head over here and get the written version. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like all my dishes, and of course, we've got another video coming up for you. That is it for this week in the Cucina. I'll see you guys next time. Buon appetito.